Do you ever find yourself with friends not knowing what you're supposed to be doing with yourselves? Have you ever wondered what it's like to kill a man? Yeah! Well, then I have quite the game for you, Mafia. It isn't very hard to understand. First, someone has to be God. I suppose I'll take on that humble role myself. God, or the narrator if you're not very religious, hands out assignment cards to everyone. Assignment cards assign a role to everyone. You have citizens, a doctor, a sheriff, a detective, and, of course, the Mafia. But before we learn what the hey all that's about, you have to go to sleep. Now, those with the Mafia card will awaken. Together, they decide who to kill by pointing at them. Then they go back to sleep, and the doctor awakens. The doctor points at someone they wish to keep alive, and that person can't be killed by the Mafia that night. They are allowed to point to themselves for risk of judgment from the narrator, but no more than one night consecutively. Afterwards, they go back to sleep as well. See, if he would have pointed to Thomas, they would have lived through the night. But you're here for bloodshed, aren't you? Next, the sheriff wakes up. The sheriff chooses someone to arrest. That individual can't talk during the next day's discussion and is voted on for execution. After a hard night's work, the sheriff rests once more. Finally, the detective rises to investigate. They point to a person, and I indicate to them whether or not they are in the Mafia. The citizens get the privilege of a full night's sleep. Everyone wakes up now.
Wake up.
Then I announce who was chosen to die by the Mafia, whether or not they were saved, and who was arrested. Everyone not in jail will use the day to discuss who they believe is Mafia and whether or not the convict should be executed for their miscellaneous crimes.
I think Ethan is the Mafia because of the blood on his shirt.
What? This is ketchup. What was he arrested for again? Jaywalking? Only the Mafia would do something that heinous. Hang him. Everyone who dies hands their cards to me, and the process repeats itself. As the people with special rules die, some things can change. If the sheriff dies, nobody can be arrested, so the townfolk can pick whoever to execute. If the doctor dies, nobody can be saved. If the detective dies, nothing really changes, but the town is comparatively short on intel. Until at last, either all members of the Mafia are executed and town wins, or the Mafia has majority over the town and they win. And that is how Mafia is played, everybody. Hope you have as much fun watching your friends die as I do.